Picture this. You're in Spain in December 2019. You taste the best olive oil you have ever had. You come back to the States thinking, I'm going to sell premium olive oil in plastic squeeze bottles. Your friends think you're insane. The olive oil market, completely saturated. Premium oils sit in fancy glass bottles on specialty store shelves. Mass market oils are bland and often fraudulent. And you want to sell a quality oil in something that looks like it belongs next to dish soap? Fast forward to today. That crazy idea is called Graza, and the company did $48 million in revenue in 2024, and it's estimated they hit $144 million in 2025. They're now in over 11,000 retailers, including Whole Foods, Target, and Costco. They sell a bottle every 6 seconds, and their bright green and yellow squeeze bottles have become one of the most recognizable products on social media. In just 3 years, Graza has become the 5th largest national olive oil brand in America and represents 24% of all olive oil growth in 2025. Today, we're breaking down how Graza turned a boring commodity into a must-have kitchen staple. We'll look at the market problem they identified, their packaging insight that broke every category rule, the guerrilla marketing tactics they used to launch with zero ad budget, and the psychology behind why it worked, and the exact playbook you can use for your business. Andrew Bennon, Graza's founder, had worked at venture capital startups like Casper and Magic Spoon. He knew direct-to-consumer. When he tasted incredible olive oil in Spain and wanted to bring it to America, he initially thought luxury brand. But his mentor, Chef Mike Anthony from Gramercy Tavern, told him something that changed everything. This oil is amazing. Now your job is to make it available to as many people as you can. Here was the problem. The olive oil market was completely bifurcated. On one side, you had mass-produced virgin olive oil that barely deserved the name. Journalist Tom Mueller reported that at least 75% of extra virgin olive oil sold in the U.S. is fraudulent. On the other side, you had boutique oils selling for $40 plus a bottle, aimed at food snobs stored in fancy glass containers. The middle market, non-existent. Quality olive oil at accessible prices with approachable branding simply didn't exist. But there was a deeper problem. The entire category looked the same. Walk down the olive oil aisle, and it's a sea of dark glass bottles, Italian countryside imagery, and fonts that scream old world. Everything blended together. Nothing stood out. Bennon's breakthrough is reported to come through in the shower. He was using Dr. Bronner's Castile soap in a squeeze bottle and thought, that's it. This is the form factor. Everyone told him he was wrong. Premium olive oils come in glass bottles. Squeeze bottles are for cheap products, for condiments, for cleaning supplies. You can't sell quality in plastic. But Bennon understood something critical that the entire category missed. Breaking the pattern is the product. Think about Liquid Death. They put water in a tall boy can and called it Murder Your Thirst. The can wasn't just functional. It was a middle finger to every other water brand. It screamed, I'm different, from across the room. Graza did the same thing. The squeeze bottle wasn't just functional, though it was. It solved real problems. Easy pour, perfect control, no drips. But more importantly, it was a complete category violation. It was wrong, and that wrongness made it impossible to ignore. Glass bottles with pour sprouts, they drip. They're awkward. You can't control the amount that comes out. The bigger issue was this. They were invisible. Every olive oil brand used glass, so no olive oil brand stood out. The squeeze bottle solved 3 problems at once. First, functional. Easy pour, perfect control, no drips. Second, pattern interrupt. It looked nothing like olive oil was supposed to look. Third, social first. It was distinctive, colorful, and perfect for that oil in the pan shot that starts every cooking video. They launched with 2 products. Drizzle, a finishing oil for $20, and Sizzle, a cooking oil for $15. Both in opaque, 100% recyclable plastic squeeze bottles with bright green and yellow tops. They named them with clear, simple use cases. No Italian village names, no harvest years, just use this one to cook, use this one to finish. The packaging communicated, this is premium, but we're not taking ourselves too seriously. This is everyday, this is approachable, This is for you. Here's where it gets good. Graza had raised just over $1 million from friends, family, and angel investors, including Casper co-founders. They had no marketing budget. They spent it all on product and manufacturing. So they went guerrilla. 2 months before their January 2022 launch, they hired Kendall Dickerson as their social media consultant. Her strategy was pure product seeding. She started sliding into food influencers' DMs with casual one-liners like, "How much easier would life be if olive oil came in a squeeze bottle? No payment, no contracts, no strings attached. Just, here's a free bottle, do whatever you want." They sent out packages to about 100 influencers before launch, starting with nano and micro influencers first. The strategy was intentional. Smaller creators post faster and create genuine content. They saved the macro influencers for launch day because those posts drive conversions. They timed it so packages hit big influencers' doors right before launch. If macro influencers posted early, there'd be nothing to buy. But if they posted at launch, that traffic converted. The packaging itself was the marketing. Every cooking video featuring that oil in the pan shot. But here's the thing. With traditional olive oil bottles, that shot is forgettable. With Graza's bright squeeze bottles, that shot stopped the scroll. The packaging was so distinctive that it became what Benning called the supporting actor in everyone's content. It was instantly recognizable. You'd see that green or yellow squeeze bottle and know exactly what it was. That's not marketing. That's brand equity you can't buy. Day one of launch, sold out. First week, $100,000 in revenue. Within 3 months, $500,000 in revenue. 0 paid ads. The trajectory from there was explosive. By the end of their first year in 2022, they'd done over $4 million in sales. By 2023, over $19 million. 2024 hit $48 million. And 2025, like we talked about, it was on track that they would hit $144 million. Whole Foods reached out to them after launch, then Target, then Costco. The brand that started DTC is now in over 11,000 stores nationwide while running a strong subscription business. They've since expanded beyond the original squeeze bottles to include aluminum refill cans, glass bottle options for customers concerned about sustainability, and they've even collaborated with brands like hummus maker Ithaca, ice cream brand Alex, and released a limited edition wine. So why did this work? There's real psychology here, and it starts with the phenomenon called the Voss-Restorff effect. This effect, also known as the isolation effect, is a principle in psychology that says when multiple similar items are presented, the one that differs is more likely to be remembered. It's named after psychiatrist Hedwig von Restorff, who discovered it in 1933. Here's how it works. If I show you a list of words, all in lowercase, cat, dog, bird, elephant, mouse, rabbit, and elephant is in all caps, you're going to remember elephant, not because it's more important, but because it stands out. It's isolated from the pattern of all the other words that are lowercase. In marketing and retail, this translates directly to attention and memory. When Graza's bright squeeze bottle sits on a shelf next to 20 dark glass bottles, your brain immediately flags it. It stands out like a sore thumb. And the distinctiveness triggers what psychologists call system 2 thinking, the slower, more deliberate cognitive processing that happens when something surprises you or breaks your expectations. Normally, when you're scrolling social media or walking down the grocery aisle, you're operating in system 1 mode, fast, automatic, effortless. Your brain processes everything on autopilot. But when something violates the pattern, it jolts you into system 2. You stop, you look, you think, then you remember. That's exactly what Graza's packaging does. On a shelf, it stops you mid-stride. On social media, it stops the scroll. That bright squeeze bottle creates a pattern interrupt that forces engagement. A 2024 study published in the Journal of Economics, Management, and Business Technology examined packaging design's impact on consumer purchasing decisions in the cosmetics industry. The researchers found that functional design elements, specifically ease of use and convenience, significantly improve consumer satisfaction and brand loyalty. But here's the key insight. Functional packaging doesn't just satisfy. It actually enhances purchase intent when combined with visual distinctiveness. The study states, functional design elements, such as ease of use and convenience, are critical for consumer satisfaction and brand loyalty. Consistency between package design and brand identity strengthens consumer trust and loyalty. But the real breakthrough comes from understanding visual attention. A 2025 study in behavioral sciences examined packaging visual elements, found that color, graphics, logo, and layout significantly influence purchasing intentions. The researchers analyzed 490 consumers and found that distinctive visual elements create what they call the emotional and sensory connection consumers feel with a product. Here's what matters. The study found that packaging with high visual contrast and unconventional structural design captured significantly more attention at point of purchase. In crowded categories, being distinctive isn't just a nice to have, it's the difference between being seen and being invisible. This is the von Restov effect in action. Graza squeeze bottle is the elephant in the list of glass bottles. Your brain can't help but notice it, and once it notices it, it remembers it. On the influencer marketing side, a 2024 meta-analysis published in the Journal of Academy of Marketing Science synthesized 1,531 effect sizes from 251 papers on influencer marketing effectiveness. The researchers found that authentic, organic influencer content, especially from micro and mid-tier influencers, generates higher engagement and conversion than paid sponsorships from mega influencers. The key finding? Influencers with 25 to 150,000 followers drive the highest return on investment because their audiences perceive their recommendations as genuine, not transactional. Graza's product seeding strategy, no payment, no requirements, allowed creators to authentically integrate the product into their content. Here's your playbook from Graza's success. First, find the function form gap in your market. What product is great but packaged wrong? What makes sense from the manufacturer but not the user? That's your opportunity. Second, violate the category. Look at how everyone else packages and presents their product. Then do the opposite. If everyone uses glass, use plastic. If everyone's being serious, be playful. If everyone's complicated, be simple. The pattern violation is what makes you memorable. Remember, the von Restov effect, the item that stands out is the item that gets remembered. Third, design for the moment of use, not the moment of sale. Graza didn't design bottles that look pretty on the shelf. They designed bottles that work perfectly when you're cooking and look great in a video. Think about where and how customers actually use your product. Fourth, make your packaging your marketing. If you can make your product visually distinctive and functionally superior, it becomes its own advertisement in user-generated content. You don't need a massive ad budget if every customer becomes a walking billboard. Fifth, seed strategically, not expensively. Identify 50 to 100 micro and mid-tier influencers in your space. Send them your product with no strings attached. Start small, start early. Let authentic adoption build before you scale. And the last play in the playbook? Nail your positioning with simple use cases. Graza didn't say single origin olives from XYZ place in Spain, first cold pressed, harvest 2021. They said drizzle and sizzle. Make it brain dead simple for consumers to know which product solves which need. The lesson here isn't just about olive oil. It's about looking at commercial markets and asking, what if we broke every rule? What if we made this product how people actually live, not how the industry has always done it? What if we designed to be the item that stands out so distinctively that people can't help but remember us? The opportunity is in the friction between what exists and what should exist, between how products are packaged and how people actually use them, between industry standards and user needs. But most importantly, the opportunity is being bold enough to look completely wrong to create something that feels completely right. Your challenge? How can you transform your product or service to stand out from all the rest? The squeeze bottle moment is sitting right there, waiting for you to find it. Your marketing move.